عادة العرب بيشتكوا إن في مشكلة اضطهاد ضده. يمكن أحسن حاجة إني أقابل ناس شغالة في المجال ده. العرب American Association in New York بتعمل إيه المؤسسة دي؟
The Arab American Association of New York is a social service agency, and we help Arabs coming from the Arab world to New York to get used to life here, provide job assistance, housing, register their kids in school, just make life a little bit easier for them when they come.
And you deal with illegal immigrations, people coming cut off from their countries?
Absolutely. We in New York and in my organization call them undocumented people with no paper. No human is illegal, and we help to ensure that they receive the services, that they are protected, that they are not detained or arrested because of not having documentation, and we work very closely with them and their families.
My name is Mustafa Bayoumi, and I've written a book about Brooklyn. How does it feel to be a problem? Being young and Arab in America. The title comes from The Souls of Black Folk, a 1903 classic by Du Bois. And I wanted to rethink that idea about how does it feel to be a problem. Du Bois talked about it 100 years ago during the days of segregation, of official discrimination. After 9/11, the nature of the representations of Islam in the United States, I think, shifted quite dramatically, both of Islam and of Muslims in the country. I think the nature of Islamophobia, the nature of the fear of Muslims, the nature of anti-Muslim sentiment in the United States has also changed, or has also had added layers to it.
Well, you know, I think that rights are a question of they're a legal question, not an identity question.
Yep.
My rights should be guaranteed to me by law as an American citizen. Of course, identity questions are complicated for all kinds of people. I'm even more complicated. I was born in Switzerland.
Okay.
But my parents are both, my mother's from Cairo, my mother's from Cairo, my father's from Alexandria. So I'm very Egyptian all the way through, and yet I live around the world. But you know what? There are a lot of people like me.
أنا أمريكية وأنا عربية وأنا فلسطينية وأنا مسلمة. أنا بعتبر حالي يعني أكثر من جنسية يعني.
I don't consider myself part of a problem. The problem is that other people consider me a problem. And nobody wants to be considered a problem unless you choose to do.
الأصل أهلي من فلسطين بس أنا مولودة هنا بأمريكا بنيويورك.
Arab identity is a complex identity too, because we also come from all these different nations. So we have national identities at the same time that we have an Arab identity, and sometimes those two things can also contradict each other.
There are many very sad stories that I've come across. One story is of a father who was in the United States for over 17 years and had 3 American citizen daughters here, and in 2007 he was deported back to Jordan and left his family here for his daughters to continue school because his family didn't want to go back to Jordan. They felt like there was more opportunity for him. So now I see them Skype with him, and we actually speak to him because he used to be our client, and to see that after 9/11 over 10,000 men in our community were deported back to the Arab world.
After 9/11, how many were deported?
At least about 10,000.
From New
nationally,
York?
Nationally, from the Arab community nationally.
Deported.
Omar worked for Al Jazeera as an intern one year when he was finishing his undergraduate studies, and he loved the job, and he wanted to get a job in the media afterwards. So after he finished his university studies, and he wanted to get married, so he really wanted to get a job, he started applying for media jobs all over the whole country. First just in a few places, and then a few more, and a few more, and a few more, and eventually he never heard back anything from any of these places, even though he had excellent credentials. So he started to wonder, is the problem because there's employment discrimination against me? And what I found interesting about Omar's story was not that he had decided that he was being discriminated against. In fact, he didn't want to be. He didn't want to make that decision. He wanted actually to think that the problem was him and not anything else. But he kept on flip-flopping back and forth.
I remember 2 years ago we had a family from Egypt, mother, father, and 4 children. They came here thinking that they could find an apartment for $400 to $500 and couldn't find that, and slept in the masjid for the first 5 days until some people in the community helped them find a place to live. And it was just very sad to see where they came from to what they had to endure the first week living in the United States.
وكونك انت من حماس وجزء من نظريه المؤامره، واضح ان هي موجوده هنا في امريكا. هل الكلام ده هو زاد بعد 11 سبتمبر؟
100% اكيد زاد. يعني كثير تواجهنا اشياء يعني ما عمري اتوقع ان الجاليه تتواجهها، مثلا ناس ضد بناء المساجد مثلا، عمرنا ما شفنا هذا الحكي قبل سبتمبر 11. الاولاد يعني ضغوط بالمدرسه من الاطفال الثانيين، في اوقات من المدرسين مثلا يحكوا لهم ارجعوا على اولادكم واحنا هنا ما بنحب المسلمين وانتم اللي عملتوا 9/11. يعني كثير اولادتنا برضه يعني بالنسبه لشخصيتهم الامريكيه والعربيه يعني صار في يعني حزاز يعني.
Well, I think that the problem was that after 9/11 9/11, there was a lot of stuff happening inside of the Arab community, inside of the Muslim community in the United States, and in New York in particular, that I felt wasn't getting much of a hearing in the rest of the culture. So I decided to go searching for those stories myself, and I found certain stories. I found stories of a young woman, for example. She was 19 years old, Syrian-American woman. She'd lived here for most of her life, in 15 of those 19 years. One night, she and her family are woken up in the middle of the night and taken into detention, accused of being under suspicion of terrorism. Of course, the charges were totally bogus, but they spent 3 months in prison.
After 9/11, how many were deported?
At least about 10,000.
From New York?
Nationally, from the Arab community nationally.
I think that almost any community that comes now today, that comes from particularly comes from the third world, is often sending money back home.
العربيات الأكل مثلا هذول ممكن في مصر أو ممكن بلاد عربية يشوفوا ناس هذول تحت المستوى، إحنا بالنسبة لهنا هذول بنعتبرهم عاملين شغل يعني ما شاء الله عنهم، يعني بيسووا كثير فلوس يعني وفخورين فيهم إنه جايين يشتغلوا.
لما تيجي تتكلم مع الناس اللي بتبيع الهوت دوج الموجود هنا في الشارع عندنا في مصر، تتخيل الناس بتتكلم عليهم ولا بيبيعوا هوت دوج واقفين على عربيات هوت دوج. اللي الناس مش واخده بالها منه ان ده بيزنس قائم في حد ذاته. ده تقريبا عصب الغذاء في نيويورك، لدرجه ان في هناك عربيات بتتباع بمبالغ لا تتخيلها. عربيات الهوت دوجز شكلها فلوس مش سهله.
انا كان ليا تاني عربيه في امريكا، 50 سكن مع 6 افنيو.
تاني عربيه في امريكا؟
اسال الناس يقول لك شندي حلال فود على اسم جدي.
والله العظيم.
والله. كنت بعتها بنص مليون دولار.
اللهم صل على النبي.
عربيه لوحدها بتعمل لها مثلا حوالي من 18 مثلا 22 23 حسب انت بتعمله. البيرمت نفسه
$1000 $23,000. البيرمت نفسه بقى عشان تاخد
البيرمت نفسه ده بيبقى بتاع حد، بس دي تديه لوتري للناس.
لوتري يعني بتوزع اللوتري؟
بتوزع بس مش كل الناس.
مثلا واحد بيحكي انا باخذ هذا المكان ب 10,000، بيحكي واحد ثاني لا انا ب 12، هذاك بيحكي انا 14، هو اللي باخذ اكثر هو اللي باخذ هذا المكان.
بيدفعوا لمين؟
للحكومه نيويورك.
اوكي.
ده في عربيه ديت اللي تقدر تقول عليها بقى يعني جوهره العربيات بتاعه اكل الشارع في نيويورك.
اشمعنى؟
اسمها عربيه، احنا مسمينها عربيه ولاد السقا.
هنا يمكن اطول طابور موجود في نيويورك قدام عربيه شاورما هوت دوج.
ايوه عربيه الرز.
Hey, how you doing? Do you like coming to eat here?
Yeah.
Do you like Egyptian food?
Yes.
You realize that this is Egyptian food, right?
Yeah.
You love it, huh? You like to have more cars here?
Every day.
Every day to this particular car.
دولت بيجوا من بعد الساعه 7 مساء لحد 7 صباحا او 6 صباحا، بيقفوش بس الا بالليل. وتيجي بيقف عليها طابور طويل من بعد الساعه 7 لحد الصبح.
احنا على فكره مسيطرين على الامن الغذائي بتاع نيويورك. انا اساسا ممكن نغزو نيويورك بكره بسندوتشات الشاورما بتاعتها.
الكان السودا او حاجه بتتباع مثلا ب 2 3 دولار. انت بره بتبقى بدولار، فهو عشان هو بيدفع رنت جامد او بيدفع عليها حاجه جامده.
احنا كنا اول مطعم فتح في المنطقه دي عربي، اول مطعم يحط حتى اسمه عربي برضه.
وكان حواليك ما كانش في عرب زي دلوقتي
خالص.
كنت انت لوحدك طلعت كده؟
كنا احنا الوحيدين هنا. كان مشكلتي ليه المطعم المصري مش عالمي؟ ليه المطعم المصري مش زي الفرنساوي
او الطلياني
لان احنا حطونا تحت، زنقونا تحت، خلوا ان المطبخ عندنا مش مهم.
ليه ما تبتدوش يدخلوا انواع جديده؟ يعني لازم فراخ
عشان الناس عايزه الحلال.
Why are you standing in line?
This is the best food in the world.
It's very good.
You're very good.
Yes.
You realize it's Egyptian food?
Yeah.
الاطباق بتعبر عن الفكر السياسي اللي البلد مرت بيه.
فعلا.
هديك مثلا الكشري بيعبر عن احتلال انجليز لمصر باستخدامهم الهنود بس في القاهره عشان يحتلوا القاهره، فالهنود بيطبخوا طبق اللي هو اسمه كيتشري يعني حاجات ملخبطه زي كلمه بواعي بالسبايسز والكلام ده كله. المصريين خدوه عشان طبق رخيص.
ودي كانت نهايه سيطره المصريين على صناعه الهوت دوجز.